My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
We acknowledge the traditional owners of country throughout Australia and recognise their continuing connection to land, waters and culture. We pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Welcome to This Song Is Yours. We're a music podcast that chats to artists, musicians and creatives on their songwriting craft and upcoming projects. I'm your host Simon Fink and welcome to episode 271. Today, we're lucky enough to be joined by Lauren, Jade and Miranda from indie dance trio Blusher. They released their brilliant debut EP last Friday, which is titled Should We Go Dance, and it sees the band soundtracking all aspects of a night out in this modern age. After you've listened to our chat with Blusher, please make sure you go and follow them across all of their socials. Details can be found within the episode show notes for today's podcast, which is also where you'll find all of our socials. Please make sure you follow us to stay up to date on guests and events that we have coming up, and make sure you subscribe to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your good podcasts from. Our guest today is Blusher. The indie dance and pop trio came together in 2021 as three separate solo artists who wanted to try something different. A songwriting camp brought them together, and after learning that they had similar but different tastes and brought different things to the group, the girls put out debut single Softly Spoken, which was an absolute hit. The last 12 months has seen them play shows all across Australia and Europe. They've performed at Big Sound, and they signed record deals with Atlantic Records and Warner Music Australia. Now, on Friday, Blusher released their brilliant debut EP, which is titled Should We Go Dance? And the short answer is yes. Yes, we should. It's an incredible 5-track EP that chronicles all the highs and lows of going out at night in 2023. In today's episode, we catch up with Lauren, Jade and Miranda from the band to discuss how the three of them came together and how the band's songwriting is split into an even 3 parts. We talk about their whirlwind 2 years and all the success that they've seen thus far. We also discuss their live shows, and the girls share some of their favourite tracks to play when they're behind the DJ decks. Should We Go Dance is out right now, and we've put links within the episode show notes where you can go and stream the EP. We also want to say a massive thank you to Emma from Positive Feedback for her help with this episode. Here is our conversation with Blusher. Welcome to This Song Is Yours, Miranda, Lauren and Jade from Blusher. Hello, how are we?
Hi. We're good.
That is very good to hear. Thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it.
Of course, thanks for having us.
Of course. I'm very glad that we were able to lock down some time with you. I know that it's such a busy time for yourselves at the moment. There's a brand new EP out. There's touring with international guests. Your world is hectic at the moment, so congratulations on all the success so far.
Thanks so much. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun to do so many different parts of being a musician in the last few weeks, like writing and releasing and playing shows, and I think that we kind of thrive in the chaos.
I know that previously all three of you were artists and musicians in your own right and with your own projects, and this kind of was the first time coming together. Is there any, and we can go through with each of you separately, is there any different feelings now that you're releasing this body of work as a group, and I guess compared to what it's like as a solo artist?
It's really nice to have, I guess, support and just camaraderie around the good times and the really stressful times. I think having people to celebrate with always makes things more meaningful, and also to go through the crazy experiences together, and you kind of just look over at each other and you're like, is this really happening? And if there wasn't two people doing it with you, you would kind of think that you were hallucinating. So it's really nice to just have your best friends beside you through the whole process, the ups and downs.
Yeah. I love that. Was it always I guess, like any group, I imagine that there was work, but did the three of you kind of click instantly when discussing music or looking at possibly forming a band?
Yeah, it was a pretty instant connection, and Lauren kind of arranged marriage to the band, and Miranda and I actually hadn't met before we formed the band, but I think Lauren was just so confident that we would become best friends and have this chemistry, and she was absolutely right.
I knew it.
Yes. So we just like really bonded in the studio over that first song, Softly Spoken, that we wrote together, and we just clicked in so many ways, like musically, but also just in terms of our weird sense of humor and niche inside jokes. We kind of have our own language now, and it's become a problem.
I do love that, though. It seems like even from the get-go, I feel like sometimes it takes artists or bands like a little while to, I don't want to say find their niche, but like almost sound comfortable or in their like fully formed like persona. And it seems like even from that first single, there was a confidence within Blusher that kind of, you knew what you were doing, you knew your sound straight away. And I think that it audibly shows.
Thank you so much. I feel like we have so much shared experience in the music industry before we met that when we came to making this project, I think we really understood the assignment. We knew exactly what we needed to do to, I don't know, make a solid first impression. And it's been really special to see that all kind of come together in the way that it has, that combines all of our visions and all of our experience.
100%. I've realised that I haven't even mentioned what we're talking about. We are talking about the Should We Go Dance EP. Very important to get the title out there. Off the bat, is there, and we'll go through it separately, maybe Miranda, we'll start with you first. Favourite track? I know it's difficult and it's an unfair question to ask, but do you each have like a track that resonates with you the most?
Oh, it really changes over the life cycle of like working on the tracks and releasing them, I think. But probably I would have to say Backbone would be my favorite, just because I don't know, I remember the writing and recording process at Lauren's house and in her back shed. We wrote that before we sort of had, any interest in the band, or before we'd like put anything out, and it was just a little insular world of the three of us, and same with Softly Spoken as well. But I think Backbone is just such an interesting unique sound, and I think it's just really fun to have an angsty moment and to dance around on stage. And I also love that like we each have a verse that like represents our personality, and we kind of channel, I don't know, our individuality, and then we all sing the chorus together. And I would have to say Backbone. Very
solid choice. Lauren, what about yourself?
Like Miranda said, it definitely changes. At the moment, my favorite is Hurricane Chaser. We've just been in a few days of rehearsals for the Tuvalu shows, and that is just always my favorite one to play live. I also think that the concept is just so funny. Essentially, that day in the studio, we were looking at videos of people who chase tornadoes, and the concept is basically that like sometimes you have to see through the bad idea that you've just had, and really owning up to that in a confident way, I think is really fun. And it's fun to play into that in the live show as well.
That's awesome. And Jade, what about you?
My favourite song, Baby, Don't Tell the Other Songs, is Limelight at the moment. It's the song that's going to be dropping next with the EP. And And yeah, I think I just have really fond memories of when we were writing that as well in Lauren's bedroom, and we were just getting inspiration from the Black Eyed Peas, and it was like
I just remember that night.
Yeah.
It was like a Friday night. We went and got Mexican midway through the session.
We were like, yeah, exactly. We were like writing about this ultimate night out, and then we were like, maybe we should actually go out and experience this and then come back. So we like went out and we had a few drinks, like just ran down the street to the nearest chicken shop / bar. And then, yeah, we came back and I think we just had a lot of like bubbly energy that night that really, I think you can hear in the song.
Look, I would 100% agree with that. I don't want to obviously say that one answer is better than the other. I will say I was going to bring up a little bit later my favourite track on the EP maybe was Limelight because of that energy that's on there. It does give off extreme main character kind of vibes, which I absolutely love.
Thanks so much.
That's okay. Do you find with, I guess, because the EP is very, it almost like chronicles like the trajectory of a night out. There's like the getting ready, there's some of the fun aspects, some of the heartbreak. It goes through like the whole gamut. But in terms of songwriting, do you usually go and, I guess we could say that the chicken shop or the bar was like field research. Would you usually go and do that to be able to bring inspiration back for writing those songs?
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
This season, Instacart has your back to school. As in, they've got your back to school lunch favorites like snack packs and fresh fruit. And they've got your back to school supplies like backpacks, binders, and pencils. And they've got your back when your kid casually tells you they have a huge school project due tomorrow. Let's face it, we were all that kid. So first, call your parents to say I'm sorry, and then download the Instacart app to get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes all school year long. Get a $0 delivery fee with your first 3 orders while supplies last. Minimum $10 an order. Additional terms apply.
Yeah, I think there is a lot. Yeah, we draw from a lot of nights out we've had together, and definitely there's like conversation in the girls' bathrooms and just like things you overhear, like friends shouting at each other on the dance floor, and just like, yeah, I think we try to inject as much real, true story, like each other's stories into the songs as we can. And, yeah, you could say we definitely...
Based on true events.
Based on true events.
Yeah. It's so important as a songwriter to, like, spend time just out in the world living. I feel like you can get into a trap of just, like, spending all your time writing music and, yeah, your inspiration just runs dry. So I think if we ever need a good excuse to, like, go out for a weird night, we will just call it field research. And, yeah, important to go and make some really weird stories to write about the next day.
100%. Charge it to the label. Say that it's worth, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah. Blusher has had such an incredible 12 to 18 months, I kind of want to say. I know that you kind of formed a band and put out the song, signed within, I think, was it 2 to 3 months?
Yeah.
It's a quick turnaround.
Very quick.
Yeah. And then now, the last 12 to 18 months just kind of, I imagine, have been a bit of a whirlwind. In the fact that you've been in the industry for a while, it's not just that it's like an overnight success. I was wondering if I was able to, maybe we'll go back the other way this time, maybe we'll start with Jade, if we were able to talk about each of your introduction to songwriting, or where you kind of found your interest in writing lyrics and melody and song.
Yeah. I kind of grew up with a lot of music around me in a musical household, and my parents were met when they started this ABBA tribute band together, and so I had a lot of like ABBA and a lot of their taste in music like Billy Joel and other sort of classics that were always playing in the house. And I think I started I just became really obsessed with making up melodies and gibberish when I was pretty little, and my dad would play piano. I would like force him to play piano for hours, and I would be like jumping around on the couch like just making up gibberish songs, and there's some old tapes of those songs and they're absolutely horrendous. My best work. But and I just like became so addicted to it, and I would like, even to the point where I would just like try to force my friends in primary school to like be a band, like perform this song during lunchtime that I'd made, or, you know, just silly things.
And that's us.
And
that's how
It's a lunchtime band. Gone way too far.
And then there was like through high school, I think I became it became a bit more of a serious thing where I was like, okay, I think I seriously want to be a songwriter, and entered, you know, a few songs in some competitions that did all right. And it was nice to get that sort of validation of like, oh, you might actually be able to do this and I think, that's pretty much how I came into the songwriting stuff, and also like production and vocal arrangement I became obsessed with as well, and learned a lot from my dad, who's a producer.
That's awesome. Lauren, what about yourself?
I'm going to say it all started with So Fresh hits of 2006.
Yeah, nice.
Classic.
In Australia, as we know, is just like all the best of Rihanna and Britney Spears. There was also a lot of, Delta Goodrum, Nikki Webster. I remember hearing that Nikki Webster had performed at the 2000 Olympics or something, and I was just like so jealous in my bones. I think I just always wanted to be a songwriter. I was doing it since I was really little, and it was around high school that I got GarageBand on an iPad, and just became so obsessed. There's nothing that I feel so obsessed with and so immersed in as music and as production. And it completely took over my whole life. By the time I was in grade 12, I was just, that was the first time my song was like played on the radio and that kind of thing. And I think, like Jade said, you get that little hint of support and you're just like, well, I don't need to, I don't know.
There's nothing else for me.
This is it. But obviously, it's been like a long journey before starting this band, and that passion has just never really gone away. It's just so in my bones, which I think we all have in common. What about you, Miranda? What's your story?
I grew up in a musical family as well, but I was in the classical world. So I was playing classical violin from when I was 5, and it was pretty, like a competitive classical violinist upbringing, which is like a great musical foundation. But I think by the time I sort of started high school, I started really rebelling against the like stuffiness and the fact that you have to play everything perfectly, and there's only like a small amount of creative kind of license that you can take with the music. And I just started writing, picking up a guitar, writing songs, writing like really bad punk songs, and downloaded Fruity Loops and made some, dubstep demos, which got me into uni. So it was all worth it. But I went through so many different phases of songwriting. Like there was definitely the So Fresh era, the Jessica Mauboy kind of Rihanna, Britney Spears was my first ever CD. So we connect on that. But I really loved punk music and emo music for a while, and I was in a lot of bands doing that. And I did like soul music for a while, and I think I just fell in love with any type of great songwriting and making music in all different sorts of genres. But when I started my own artist project, I was like really obsessed with electronic pop and like dance music influence, bringing that into like pop songwriting. So when I met these two, I think we just really connected over that.
It's pretty cool. We were all kind of doing the same thing, in different ways, but it was all electronic pop, essentially.
Really similar influences.
Yeah, that's kind of what it sounds like, is that you all had like similar journeys, maybe some different sonic soundscapes. I do look forward to the dubstep remix of Blusher at some point.
It's coming. Leave it up to you.
But yeah, it sounds like that you guys almost had like shared journeys that have ended up in the same place, which is actually really kind of nice for the band.
Yeah, it's so cool. Like thinking about the lessons that we've all learnt individually that we bring to the studio in the same way. Like I think we all know that the songwriting is the most important part, and we all know that we want our music to have some, level of depth and some level of strangeness. And there was just certain things in the studio that we didn't even need to talk about because we'd learnt it beforehand, which is pretty amazing.
That's awesome. I'm really curious, I guess, how that translates then into a live show. I know you've got some live dates coming up, and I know she's not probably listening to this, but I always mispronounce her name because I struggle with is it Tuvalu?
Tuvalu?
Tuvalu. Oh, I missed a U or an extra O in there somewhere. I apologise, I did it again. I guess, how is the live sound of Blusher evolving now that you've got an EP coming out and you've got these gigs coming up? How are you finding, translating these songs to a live setting?
Yeah, I guess it was really fun to think about how we wanted to create this Blusher world that people could enter in the live show, and we always wanted it to just be high energy, dancey, fun, and also have some like dance moves and coordinated sort of synchronized moves that we do, but moves that are not super advanced that anyone can do as well. And we kind of swap around and use wireless mics and swap instruments, and we just kind of wanted to have a combination of being able to dance and like have your solo moments in your verses, and then moments where we really connect and harmonize, and like it's so nice to just look over at each other in those moments. Sorry, I think we just lost our screen, but we're back. But and it was really fun with all of the tracks and the way that the through line of all of the songs kind of happens. It was fun to create transitions between the songs and figure out all of the little moments that we could share together on stage.
Yeah, I think that the cool, unique thing about being in this band is because all of us were solo artists before, we are all kind of like all-rounders, and we don't really have one thing that we do. Like Jade and I both play the bass guitar on stage. We all swap around and play the synth at different times, and that's kind of like a reflection of how we work in the studio, is we all kind of just, run around in a circle and try all of the different stations or whatever we're kind of feeling creatively inspired to do that day is what we will end up doing. So I guess that's, something that's a bit unique about us, is that we all kind of do everything, and nobody is like the main singer or
everyone's the Beyonce.
Also, everyone is the main
and everyone has their moments.
I love that. I think that's fantastic. I'm curious because I know, I think only judging by some of the references that you've given me, that I'm going to guess a certain age range between you. I won't actually say it, but I imagine that as a generation that has come up with YouTube and everything else, I know that I've had musician friends who have utilised the internet to get inspiration for certain tours, or I think the 2000s No Strings Attached tour for NSYNC was a big inspiration for a certain electro group, which I won't mention. I won't dox them on air anyway. But yeah, I'm wondering if there's any inspiration you've taken from any other artists or anything else you've found. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, we were watching all kinds of videos. Gwen Stefani, I think.
Stefani, Confidence Man.
Confidence Man. Yeah.
We were watching Lady Gaga play the Super Bowl just for, in a few years' time. That's some inspiration.
Yeah. We were watching that in preparation for our first show, which was to
just big sound.
Yeah.
It's very impressive being dropped into big sound from the roof. That's,
I can't believe we did that.
So ambitious, yeah.
We were also watching, we take a lot of inspiration from dance music and house music, and we were watching Channel Tre or Channel Tres. I don't know how you're supposed to say that, but his live show is really cool, and he has 2 backup dancers. We were basically just like, what is a band of 3 people that do some cool moves that we can actually achieve? And so, a lot of dance inspiration from Channel Tres.
Yeah, I think we also talked about how it's just as much about the performance and the visual aspect of it as it is about the music. And I think that that's something that we draw a little bit from K-pop and J-pop. It's so about the people up there as well as the songs. But yeah, the dance part of it is also about the nature of our EP. We're basically wanting to create the night that we're talking about in the songs. So envisioning, people in the crowd actually having those experiences that night is pretty fun.
I love that. I think that's, it's kind of, it's soundtracking the night out. I know that's what the kind of concept of the record is, but you're also almost getting to do that each and every night. With that in mind, can we expect, I know you've got these support dates, can we expect a full tour to see Blusher around the country playing these songs? Maybe.
Surely.
Yes.
Maybe.
I hope so.
Nothing locked in yet, but
a few things floating around. We'll let you know.
When we hear, we'll make sure we promote them in whatever capacity that we can, but we won't push for any further details.
We can't wait to play more shows. We are so... the show is locked and loaded, and we have so much energy to, play.
We basically want to kick people's nights off with our set and then just DJ the after party for another 4 hours and just get to curate some chaotic vibes for the night.
That sounds absolutely incredible. When you do announce it, whenever that is, I will be there first in the door. So.
What would you request as your song in the DJ booth?
Are we talking is it So Fresh style vibes from...
your favorite song.
It's
track.
Remixes of the it's cool,
hardcore.
It goes a little harder.
I might be showing my age with this. Do any of you remember that it was like a 90s teen comedy, Can't Hardly Wait, with Jennifer Love Hewitt?
I feel like I've heard of that.
And Smash Mouth did Can't Get Enough of You. It was just after they did Shrek. But
the golden years.
The golden years.
We're showing our age too.
It's an absolutely trash song, but it seems to go on the dance floor. So that would be my request.
That's exactly what we're looking for. Absolute trash that is really fun.
Everyone wants to dance to.
The blush attack.
What we would usually ask our guests at the end of each episode is what they're currently listening to. In the spirit of what we're talking about, I'm wondering whether we can alter it slightly, and if I can get one, and when I say trash, I mean gold trash, of what your one request for the night would be to the DJ.
Oh my Mine is Circus by Britney Spears. I've never not listened to the song. All Eyes on Me in the Center of the Ring.
Absolute banger.
Maybe what you waiting for, Gwen Stefani?
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that's trash.
Also GUI, Lady Gaga.
GUI.
Sorry, I've got too many.
I've Got a Feeling, Black Eyed Peas.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. no one's going to know this, but I'm going to say this remix that I found on TikTok of a Not Fair by Lily Allen, but it's like a hard techno version. Yeah.
We also found a remix of I Kissed a Girl by Katy Perry the other night that is just so great and awful. It's like...
Yeah.
It's like... Sometimes I listen to these remixes and I just think, how dare you? Like, some producer is just, like, really had a lot of coffee that day. Anyway.
I absolutely love all of those. And I think anyone, I'm not sure, I can't speak for anyone else listening, but I know that I'm even now more excited for these gigs if that's what's to follow after the set as well. So I imagine that people are feeling the same. Look, I very much appreciate all of your time today. Lauren, Jade and Miranda, thank you so much for coming onto the podcast, and congratulations on the brand new EP, Should We Go Dance. It is out now by Blusher. But thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Never sleep hot again with Bowl and Branch's best-selling naturally cooling sheets. They feel super crisp and cool to the touch and are expertly designed for enhanced breathability so you don't overheat at night. Start getting your best night's sleep this summer with cooling sheets made with the highest quality materials. Try Bowl and Branch with a 30-night worry-free guarantee. Plus, get 15% off and free shipping on your first set of sheets at bowlandbranch.com with code BUTTERY. Exclusions apply. See site for details.